Hello, citizens. This is Citizen Bob, and today I have an important message. A revolution that could change entirely the way we conceive the whole game. But what I say the whole game? The whole game! I'll just say this. What is the perfect starter ship to start playing Star Citizen? It's the Origin 890 Bob, of course. Okay, let's stay calm. I have not gone completely crazy, or at least I am no crazier now than I have been in the last 150 years of my life. Find out with me why this statement that sounds like something out of a science fiction book is in fact the most logical conclusion one can come to. Star Citizen has accustomed us to the concept of tiny and cheap starter ships, and we have adapted to this reality. But why, I wonder? I think a starter ship is supposed to make things easier for any Bob coming into the game. So I think, what are the most common problems for a Bob, and what ship is the best suited to deal with or solve those problems? Let's get practical. Bobs typically die. Often. Very, very often. They die going through a door, they die taking the stairs, or just taking the elevator. If your ship is an Aurora, every time you die you lose your ship, you go back to where you started. In short, you start all over again. Not with the 890. Your very comfortable hospital bed allows you to start over right away without wasting time and fun, retrieving your equipment on the fly for a gameplay experience with no downtime. Of course, you have to remember every so often to throw excess bodies out of one of the many hatches available. Look at this one. This one is so tall it's definitely a belter. Migdri fototo kopeng, tenye wa gudie. Let's go further. Speed is often an issue. Small ships are fast and will crash anywhere if piloted by a Bob. Not the 890. It is slow, very slow, and tough as well. It can crash several times without you even knowing it. This reconditioned iron is perfect for those with poor flying skills, so much so that you don't even have to fly it to begin with. You can also use it as a simple luxury boat. In fact, that's probably what it was intended to be used for. Look, doesn't it look perfect in these conditions? And don't worry about the water tightness. After all, it is made to fly in space. What would a little water be? Look at this nice smiling dolphin face. And when they do implement fishing, you will be the first to be able to comfortably experience this new feature, looking for the fishiest place in the verse. Bob? What are you looking at, Bob? No, that can't be used for fishing. Forget it. One small note, do not try this experience with Microtech's frozen lakes. It simply does not work and the effect is not the same. What else is there then? Bobs don't know how to fight and how to do bounty hunting missions properly. You can put even the deadliest war machine in the verse in the hands of Bob like me, but there is nothing to be done. I die again and again and again. And do you know what then I most often come to? The ramming. Either I make a mistake and go against the pirate, or he decides it's time to end his sinful life and rams into me. Enough of these starters that shatter as soon as they graze a pebble in space. With the 890, Bobs will be able to go slamming into all sorts of space pirates at will without worry. In fact, maybe even get away with some reward money. Dear friends, before I go on with the other features that make the 890 Bob the perfect ship to start with, I wanted to thank all of you who are watching the video and remind you, if you'd like, to leave a comment, to subscribe, leave a like, and share the video with all your Star Citizen loving friends. It's a good deed for you, you do your friends a favor, and much more importantly, you help the channel grow without spending a single penny. For those, of course, who want to spend hard-earned money, there are memberships with unmissable bonuses. And that reminds me, by the way, to thank my tremendous supporters at James Pruitt 4756 and at Dujin24. But let's go further. Another feature of the Bobs is that at first they feel lost in this vast universe. Flying around with a cutter certainly doesn't help you stand out in the crowd. But think, on the other hand, if you show up with a kick-ass boat like the 890 Bob, where you can play basketball with friends, you can take a dip in the pool with friends, you can have drinks and dinner with friends, or you can take a sauna with friends. Okay, friends are not easy to find, but with this party machine, it won't be so hard. The problem, perhaps, is that there is a tendency to go a little wild, and often parties on the 890 end badly. And don't forget the hard time of getting rid of the guests who are most reluctant to leave the ship of their own free will. But let's leave the parties and talk more about one of the strengths. It is so easy to get your bearings on this ship. It only takes a few seconds to find your way to. No, I think I've been through here before. I was saying a few seconds and. Is this the bow or the stern? I mean, round and round, you always end up at the pool. But then again, the other starters don't even have a pool. In short, if one wants to start playing Star Citizen with the best starter that can offer everything and then some, the 890 Bob is the ship for you. There is a little teeny tiny flaw if we really want to be precise, which is the cost. But what could it be? What's a few $100s compared to happiness? It's hundreds of dollars indeed, and maybe before spending it on a 890 you could think of 1,000 other more responsible investments, but you wouldn't expect that kind of serious talk from a Bob, would you? I mean, if you are undecided between an Aurora, a Mustang or a Titan, why not also consider getting yourself a nice 890 Bob? Only this way you can really stay happy, you can stay in the pool and stay Bob.